It's hard to believe, but there was a time before every person in America carried devices that were capable of recording every second of every minute of every day. In fact, instead of just hitting record on a smartphone, people actually had to write stuff down to remember it. It was truly a dark time. As a result, many legends have formed about America in the absence of, proof. Here now are facts from American history that aren't actually true at all. Bogus Betsy. Every school kid knows Betsy Ross created the first U.S. flag at George Washington's request, right? Wrong. Turns out that while Ross was a Philadelphia-based flag maker, which is apparently a job people can have, there's no actual evidence that she had anything to do with the American flag's creation. Ross's grandson spread the story almost 100 years later, and his only evidence were testimonials from family members. Somehow, a ridiculous family legend made its way into the history books, and as a result,
everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
So who did design the flag if it wasn't crazy Grandma Betsy? Evidence points to Francis Hopkinson, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He actually sent the government a bill for his design work, asking to be paid with a big old barrel of wine. Now that's a true patriot. Surrender? Why? Usually when the general of an army surrenders, the war ends. At least that's what it's like whenever a game of Risk goes on for longer than 3 hours and everyone just wants to stop and just go out for pizza already. Anyway, history says the American Civil War ended when General Robert E. Lee surrendered after the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia on April 9, 1865. But that didn't stop that wacky Confederate army from fighting on. That included a 2-day confrontation known as the Battle of Palmito Ranch in Texas. The Confederates actually won that battle, despite the war having been officially over for a month. This is kind of like staying on the field after the game's over and the stands are empty just to hit a few dingers. It's impressive, exciting, and completely pointless. Talk is cheap, Abe. President Abraham Lincoln presented the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. But who was emancipated? Only slaves in Confederate states. You know, the states that had decided they weren't a part of America anymore and wouldn't listen to the president no matter what he said.
My presidential bitch!
Not only that, but the slave-holding states loyal to the Union, Delaware, Missouri, Maryland, and Kentucky, were still free to enjoy all the slavery they wanted. The U.S. finally made good on the proclamation's promise years later when it ratified the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Though, when it comes to things like slavery, better late than never still feels pretty hollow. False flag. You may think that the flag you spot on the backs of sunburned men, on women named Riley, and on the top of the car from the Dukes of Hazzard was once the official symbol of the Confederacy. You'd be dead wrong though, bro.
Wrong again.
In fact, that red background with the blue X and all the stars is actually the Confederate battle flag, the banner that the Army of Northern Virginia, led by General Robert E. Lee, flew during conflicts. The official flag of the Confederacy actually changed 3 times during the American Civil War, but having 3 different designs would make it harder to sell at truck stops in Alabama. Better to use the one from TV. Rushing Russians. Some folks think that the United States and Russia have never met on the field of battle, with the exception of Rocky and Bullwinkle trying to get one over on Boris and Natasha. Not true. President Woodrow Wilson sent thousands of U.S. troops to Russia in September 1918. Along with soldiers from France, Great Britain, and Japan, their mission was to support Russia's White Movement, a force of anti-communist Russians opposed to the Bolsheviks, forerunners of the Soviet Union's Communist Party that had seized power during the October Revolution. It didn't work, though, and the bulk of the Allied forces pulled out of Russia by 1920. America got the last laugh, though, casting Russians as bad guys in movies ever since. Take that, Russia. Lucky 13. We all know the song.
50 nifty United States from 13 original colonies.
That song is a lie. There were only 12 colonies at the outset of the American Revolution in 1775. Delaware at that time was actually part of the colony of Pennsylvania, not becoming independent until June 1776. And that's all anyone knows about Delaware, actually.
I'm in Delaware.
A dubious claim. It's true. Thomas Jefferson, or TJ as he liked to be called, used to grow hemp. Some folks even claim that the first drafts of the Declaration of Independence were written on hemp paper, and that maybe the official declaration itself was too. Sorry, Shaggy, but the Declaration of Independence is written on parchment, not hemp. And no, the Constitution is not written on hemp either. On the other hand, everything that Nicolas Cage did in National Treasure actually happened.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
So, at least there's that. Crack up. As a symbol of America's enthusiasm for freedom, Philadelphia's Liberty Bell is pretty rad. Legend has it that the bell cracked after patriots rang the thing too hard on July 4th, 1776. Too bad, that's a load of garbage. The bell actually started cracking years earlier, starting in 1752, and required constant maintenance during its run in the Pennsylvania State House. The crack you see in Philadelphia's famous bell today likely occurred in the 1840s. The Liberty Bell was the equivalent of that car that you need to constantly throw money at to keep working, but the Liberty Ford Pinto doesn't have quite the same ring to it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more videos like the one you just saw, and leave us a comment to let us know which of these false facts surprised you the most.